So meditation is part of the Buddhist path of practice. It is not the whole of Buddhist practice, but it is a very important part, indispensable part. And there are many different meditation techniques. There's not just one meditation technique. If you notice, there is no Buddha technique. There is no Gautama method. The Buddha taught many different types of meditation based on what was appropriate for different people at different times and different purposes for our practice. So I'll go over basic types of meditation, fundamentals of meditation, and how it relates to the larger picture of developing the Noble Eightfold Path. So in terms of posture, it is helpful to have a sitting posture which is balanced, comfortable, energized, so that we're able to sit for longer periods of time. So that does make a difference, and that will influence our state of mind. But we can't only sit meditation. So after sitting for a period of time, even if it's very comfortable, eventually pain, discomfort becomes too great, and then we need to alternate our postures. So then we learn how to make walking into meditation, and we'll be doing much of that for the next week. Whether we're sitting, whether we're walking, whether we're lying down, doing the dishes, taking a shower, whatever you're doing, it's an opportunity to be aware of your body and the present moment. So being aware of the present moment, it's the only way that we can begin to get a handle on the nature of reality. Being clearly aware of what's happening. Now, even when we have memories, even when we're planning the future, it's still happening in the present moment. But if we don't have clear mindfulness, if we don't have clear awareness of what's happening, then it feels like we get sucked into the past or the future. So developing this continuity of clear awareness in the present moment is an essential, fundamental nature of all Buddhist meditation. So there are many ways we can do that. Now the first and most important, in many ways, most important grounding for our awareness is to be aware of our body. So as you're sitting here right now, how can you feel your body? How do you know that you have a body? So besides seeing, if you closed your eyes, where can you feel your body? Just take a few seconds. You feel it in your legs, your back. Where do you actually feel your body? Bringing awareness into our body, then we become more attuned to our physical environment. If you're very aware of your body, then you notice there's these sensations on the skin caused by the breeze. There's this element of temperature. Become aware of temperature. Our body is able to hear, so that even being aware of sounds can establish our awareness in the present. Being aware of sounds, also notice the absence of sound. There is sound and then the absence of sound. As you bring awareness into your body, just notice, can you feel sensations around your face, around your eyes, around your neck and your shoulders? Bring awareness into your back. Bring awareness into your heart area. Notice the area around your solar plexus, your belly. Can you feel your arms and your hands? Your hips, legs, feet, and all the way down to the soles of your feet. In the beginning, you may only notice the more obvious sensations, or may not detect any sensations whatsoever. But as our mindfulness becomes more refined, then we begin to realize that our body is full of sensations. As our body is always in the present, if we have clear awareness of our body, our physical posture, then we can be assured that we have at least a certain amount of mindfulness happening. Continuity of awareness. As we bring our attention to our bodies, then we notice there are also these sensations that are caused by the air flowing into our body and flowing out. Even without intending it to happen, the air flows into our body, pauses and then flows out. And what else is happening in the present? Thoughts, mood, emotion, reaction. Whatever mental activity or mental state you're experiencing, simply know that as it is. This is what's occurring. This is what's happening. Pleasant, unpleasant, equally valid. Simply be aware. That's a thought. Come back to your breath and check. Am I breathing in or breathing out? Or if we have an emotion arise, simply be aware of that emotion, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Simply a movement of the mind, a temporary mental state. And we come back and check. Notice the sounds in our environment. Notice the sensations within our body. Notice if we're breathing in or if we're breathing out. During this time, there's nothing that we have to figure out. No big decisions that we have to make. No situation we have to analyze. No one special that we have to be. Simply be clearly aware of what's occurring right here. Whatever you expect to happen, just let that go. However you think it should be, just let that go. And clearly recognize, what are we experiencing now? If you notice thinking, have thinking happening in the background, that's fine. But try to keep at least 50%, half of your awareness on your breathing, awareness of your body. If you find yourself at any time getting lost in a thought, sucked into a memory, planning next week, then just catch yourself, stop, just tell yourself, not now. You don't have to worry about that now. You don't have to think about that now. You can set all of those burdens down. If you want to pick them up again after the retreat, they'll still be there. But for now, you can set them down. Our only responsibility is simply to be present, clearly aware, attentive to our breathing, our breath, mindful of the sensations of our body, clearly aware. As we develop a continuity of attention, our bodies begin to relax. Our minds begin to relax. So allow yourself to enjoy meditation. The simple activity of paying attention. For 3 breaths in a row, see if you can pay attention to every sensation of the air entering through your nose, coming into your chest, pausing and flowing out. When we're sitting meditation, there are a few different postures that you can experiment with and find what works best. It partly depends on how limber you are. One way is to sit with one leg folded in front of the other, like that. Then you can take that leg and put it on the opposite thigh. If you find that your knee ends up in the air, you can take another cushion or folded towel or cloth and put it underneath your knee to give it support. So that when you're sitting, you have a solid base. 2 knees, the base of your spine. And if you're sitting on your cushion, it's more effective to sit on the front part of the cushion rather than the middle of it. If you sit on the front part of the cushion, that helps to tilt your hips forward, helps to open the chest, keep your back straight. You want to sit upright, but not unnaturally stiff. From the top of your head, align your neck, shoulders, spine, all the way down. If we're sitting upright, then it will be easier to stay energized. But also relaxed, finding this balance between being energized and allowing the muscles in your body to relax. So physically, we find this balance. Being relaxed doesn't mean just crashing out. And being upright or energized doesn't mean being stiff. So find that balance where you're energized, but at the same time allowing your body to relax. And then we find that same balance mentally with our mental states. Not too much energy, not too stiff, not too relaxed, energized, but peaceful, calm. Your hands can be placed in a number of positions, but generally it's very useful to have one hand on top of the other with the thumb tips touching. This requires a certain amount of attention, simply to maintain the posture of your hands. You'll find if you're trying to sit meditation just with the hands flopped around, it will affect your mental state. If you're feeling awake, you can rest your hands in your lap. If you're feeling a little sleepy, raise your hands up a little bit. Actually hold them up. And then if you start to get sleepy in meditation, your hands will fall down, and then you'll notice that. Say, oh, raise them up again. This adds just a little bit more energy to our body and mind, the effort it takes to hold our hands up. So eventually, then we have to change our posture. Even the Buddha eventually had to change his posture. He got up from underneath the Bodhi tree. So once that bell goes, it doesn't mean we stop meditating. We're simply changing our posture. Bell goes and we open our eyes. We're still breathing, so we can pay attention to that. And suddenly we have a lot more potential distraction. There's a lot more happening when our eyes are open. Suddenly there's all these shapes and colors and forms and perceptions and projections. So as we open our eyes, it's another opportunity simply to be aware. There is seeing happening. In the same way that when we're sitting, we could feel sensations on our body. There are sensations, pleasant, unpleasant, either way. There is temperature. We can feel the temperature. There is sound, absence of sound. And when we open our eyes, we see sights and forms, but there's also absence of sights and forms. In the same way, we can pay attention to the silence of our minds, the silence of our environment, and pay attention to the space. Not just the objects or the people or the colors or the shapes, but the space. So internally you realize that, most of the time we're just paying attention to the forms and the bright colors, but actually There's space there too. And the intrinsic nature, the quality of space and silence is peace. So once we make our intention to change our posture, mindfully move your legs. Again, paying attention to the sensations as you change posture, move your legs, move your arms. As we get up from our seat, we pay respects. Around this area we have many paths. Some paths are, you notice they're about 6 meters long and they don't go anywhere. They're just flat, rectangular paths, and they're specifically for walking meditation. So there are many paths around just for that. But we also have paths that actually go somewhere. Either way, when we leave the meditation hall, you can go out and find a stretch of a path. It's maybe about 20 or 25 steps long. Start on one end of the path. Try not to have your paths crisscrossing or intersecting with other people's paths. You can place your hands either in front or behind. And then you just start mindfully taking one step after another. You come to the end of the path, stop, turn around, and continue to walk. So like many aspects of meditation, the instructions are very simple. Just mindfully walk back and forth. But when you try to do that, you realize, a few obstacles come up sometimes. So as we're walking back and forth, suddenly we may be looking at, look at that tree. Oh, I wonder if what bird is that? Say, oh, look at that. Hey, they've got a nicer path than I do. So anytime our attention goes out, just kind of catch yourself and say, bring it back. Our eyes are open, so there's more opportunity to be distracted. Interesting sights, colors, shapes, forms. But each time we just bring our attention back around our body, a couple meters around our body. And as you walk, bring your attention into your feet and notice when your foot comes in contact with the ground. Just notice that connection, literally feeling grounded, the connection to the earth. As you're walking, you can feel the movement of your legs, the sensations within your legs and the balance of your body. And as you're walking back and forth, just notice if you get lost in a train of thought, thinking about this or that, it's okay, you just stop. Just stop. Say, not now. I don't have to think about that now. And then continue on. Our intention is simply to learn how to walk with clear awareness. And as is the case with many forms of meditation, once you develop a continuity of mindfulness, it becomes very pleasant simply to walk back and forth. Very simple. We're not going anywhere. Simply a form of developing continuity of awareness, practicing being aware of our body, being aware of thoughts, moods, perception, being aware of seeing, but not being distracted by seeing. Okay, so let's give walking meditation a try. We'll do a period of walking meditation.